Welcome to Embracing Life Again. I'm Catherine Coffer, transition expert and minister. Together, we'll break through life's toughest barriers, rediscover joy, and start dreaming again. It's time to embrace life fully with purpose, passion, and hope. Welcome to Embracing Life Again. I'm your host, Catherine Coffer, and I bring inspiration to life's transitions. So the purpose of our show is to inspire women to find more balance, to feel a sense of freedom, and to choose joy and dream again as we collectively stand in our power, and getting you unstuck in your trauma and loss to experience joy and peace and dream again. So we have an exciting show again for you today. Barbara's back, and so don't forget to tune in to Adventures of Zebby and Theo, which is the last 10 minutes of my show. And if you have any questions, or you want to see, you have a certain episode you may want to see, please don't hesitate to email me at info@embracinglifeagain.com. Okay, so here we go, girl. So today's exciting topic is compassionate communication, right? And it's like, she had a different name for it, but that's what I think we decided to call it, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm like, because it's a clinical term, right? So anyway, so for those of you who do not know, this is Barbara Corinne Summer. She is a PhD intern at Clinic AD in Reno. She has been studying mind-body medicine since 1995 and has a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. To name a few. And she has done the acupuncture on me, and you'd think it would be painful, right?
You barely felt it.
There was only one spot. There was only one spot that I really even felt. So it was awesome. It was awesome. And a lot of stuff released, because she'll feel you real quick.
I can feel the tension and the muscles.
Your muscles and stuff. And then she'll put the little things where they go. And then after, she's like, look how much better you are. So, little lady. So what is compassionate communication?
Well, compassionate communication is speaking from your heart, using kind words, looking to connect with and acknowledge the other person, making more observation type statements, I statements as well. Most of us use a lot of blaming,
yes,
criticizing type of language. Mm-hmm. We also may not even realize how we use violent language.
True.
Like, I'm so mad I could kill somebody, or, something like that.
And you don't mean it. It's just what you say.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So we need to be really careful to use kind and gentle words.
Okay.
And to seek to understand the other person.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you had looked up the definitions for compassion and
empathy.
Empathy, and what was the other one?
And sympathy.
And sympathy. So.
Right. That's really interesting. The word sympathy comes from the Greek pathos word or derivative, mm-hmm. and it entered our English dictionary in the 1500s, it said. And it basically refers to feeling bad for someone, being able to feel pity or sorrow for someone else's situation. Whereas empathy came from the German derivative, and I forgot the name, the German word. We can look that up later. But that word entered our dictionary in the 1800s.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so empathy expands the definition of sympathy, where it's the ability to be able to feel, to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and feel what they're feeling, to try on their ideas and opinions and imagine yourself in the situation that they're in. Compassion takes it a step further.
Oh, okay.
Where we actually seek to help somebody in need.
Okay.
We don't just feel bad for them or even imagine ourselves in their situation, but we actually do something to try to help them, which is a really interesting concept.
So where did the term put yourself in my shoes come from? Is that kind of...
My grandparents had
I know.
a little sign or picture when I was growing up. It said, "Don't judge someone until you've walked a mile in their moccasins."
True.
And so I believe it's a Native American saying.
Oh, okay.
And then we've adapted that to someone's shoes.
Right, right. So much easier to judge first instead of try and see where they're coming from in there.
Right.
Because that takes time. We don't have time anymore.
And then we don't get to be righteous about
That's right.
how we're right and they're wrong, and
Right.
win-lose, and who's responsible and irresponsible, and how it's all unfair. Yeah, that's what we like to do.
Yeah. So do you have any specific techniques that I can use to communicate more compassionately?
Yes, absolutely. There was a psychologist named Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. He had a PhD and wrote a book called Nonviolent Communication. And I really have enjoyed studying his work. I actually interviewed him in San Francisco many years ago, almost 20 years ago now, and it was aired on a public channel. And I also took a lot of time studying his work.
Okay.
And he liked to use the metaphor of two animals. One is a giraffe. The giraffe symbolizes compassionate communication because the giraffe has a long neck. And that allows the giraffe to see things more objectively and from a different perspective.
Okay.
Then the giraffe has one of the biggest hearts of any animals.
They do?
Yep. And so that's to pump the blood way up to its head, right?
Wow.
But then also that symbolizes compassionate communication because of having a big heart, you know, and talking from that place, that loving place of kindness and gentleness.
Okay.
Then the opposite is the jackal. That's that negative, blaming, critical voice.
We all don't like the jackal. Yes.
Yes, you know, so the jackal can be a very hard one to deal with. You know, it's the difficult people, the people that want to make everyone else wrong. They're right. It's their way or the highway, and all of that.
So many of those out there right now.
If we imagine ourselves as the giraffe, and he even has two puppets. I like that too.
Okay.
And so, you know, he'll raise the puppet. If it's the jackal talking, he'll go, "Oops, it's the jackal." You know, and he'll peep his head.
Okay, that's funny.
So that's how he would perform the therapy, you know, working with people, trying to resolve conflict. And so, you know, raise the giraffe and, you know, talk from the heart and acknowledging the person that they're really being successful at doing that. And then peering the head of the jackal up, you know, when the negative voice creeps in. Just as a nice visual. But, you know, we can't always do that in our daily lives. But what we can do is to start with acknowledging the other person.
Okay.
Speaking from observation statements. So, like, for instance, if you see someone starting to talk faster and louder, maybe their cheeks get a little bit red. Maybe they have a grimace or a frown on their face. Maybe they have other body language that, you know, it's intimidating or gearing up with tension, right?
Right.
You can say, you know, I see that you're starting to talk a little faster and louder. I'm just wondering, I'm thinking that you're getting upset. I'm just checking in. I'm not telling you you're upset. I'm just checking in to see if you might be getting upset. And you know what? I really care. I really care about what you're feeling, about what you're needing. And I'd really like to help you and understand what your perspective is. Then they take a deep breath. And they start relaxing.
Interesting.
Because they've been acknowledged. And they know that there is no threat coming from you, so they don't have to be defensive.
Okay.
Right? And so after you acknowledge them and seek to understand what's going on for them, then the door opens for you to be able to share.
Okay.
And if we share from a place of our feelings and needs, and then from that place making requests instead of demands, instead of what we normally do.
Can I go off topic for a second here?
Yeah.
I was very much a people pleaser. So I never told anybody what I needed, because it's not about me, it's all about them. Because they have to like me, right?
And
like,
are you
no.
allowed? Is there any room for you to have a need?
Correct. So I had to learn in all these years since my husband passed away, I had to learn to know what it was I needed and know that I'm worth saying it, that what I need is worthy. I'm worthy of what I need, right? So that's harder for some people, right? That have always been shot down. I was one of the ones that was always shot down from being a little kid, so I didn't,
And it does take some skill and practice, learning how to identify what I'm feeling. I could be feeling 20 emotions at once.
Right.
Which is overwhelming, right?
Right.
And so, you could be feeling disappointed underneath anger. You could be feeling hurt. You could be feeling, dismissed, underneath that I just feel upset and angry or sad.
And there's so many people that don't even know their emotions. They can't put words to what they're feeling or thinking. My first husband was that way. We went through therapy, and he goes, this guy doesn't know his feelings. He can't express them because he hasn't put words to them, right? And that was part of our miscommunication a lot, right? Because he couldn't, and he would just get angry because he couldn't tell me what he was feeling or thinking.
Well, that's what I like about what we're doing in our school system, because as a school counselor at the elementary level and high school level, we started teaching socio-emotional learning to the kids. We're looking at emojis or looking at expressions of animals, and then identifying the emotion underneath the facial expression so that we can start training the younger generation how to identify their emotions.
Right.
Then the next step is to figure out, what do I need? That can be a lot harder question. I have a need for patience. I have a need for kindness. I have a need for time. I have a need for cleanliness. I have a need for, finding joy.
So how, speaking of that, how do you think about or teach someone, okay, so I have someone that needs patience. How do they even go about getting patience? Or are you talking about, I need you to be patient with me? Well, are you talking about that I need patience? Let's just say I do. Or are you talking about, I need you to be patient with me? Which one are you talking about?
It depends on the situation. So if I'm trying to say to someone, I need you to be patient, sometimes that would be okay depending on the person and how it was said, but it could also upset them more and make them be less patient. So reframing that just a little bit, if in a certain situation I need someone to be more patient, you can express, I'm feeling hurried, I'm feeling stressed, so I have a need for a little more time and patience, so please bear with me. It's just
that is so much better than I need you to be patient.
It just softens it just a little bit.
Right? It's like, and I'm not good at my wording a lot of the time, right? I'm working on it. I'm totally working on it. So how I'm handling mine is, if I feel I've said something incorrectly, I will go, okay, I'll stop. I'll go, okay, this is what I meant by that.
Rephrase.
This is what I meant by that. And I've also told the people that I love, if I say something that you're not getting, okay, so for right now I'm dating, right? So we already have a thing where, okay, if I say something that you don't get or you think you're taking wrong, please stop me and ask me the question. Ask me, what do you mean by that? Because I took it this way, right? And
ask for clarification. That is one of
right,
the key skills and steps.
Right. So that's one of probably the first boundary I set.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to be taken incorrectly because I have a really good heart. It's just, it doesn't always come out right.
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 Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we all have that.
I know. Me more than others a lot of times.
And then the humility is being able to say, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Will you give me a chance to rephrase?
Yeah.
Or explain what I meant?
Yes.
And then hopefully the giraffe would. The jackal might not.
I don't want no jackal. All the jackals are gone out of my life. At least I'm trying to get them out of my life, right?
Yeah, we can retrain the jackal.
You think so?
I mean, we might not be able to make him completely into a giraffe, but we can at least soften him.
Would you say a jackal is a narcissist?
Well,
we're going to go there because there's so many people that, and I think there's degrees of narcissism. I don't think there is just you're a narcissist and that's it. You know, just like autism, there's spectrum. There's right. There's
I wouldn't say it's an equivalent term. It's just a metaphor for the person who is very negative and blaming in their speech.
So that's what a narcissist is?
Well, no, the jackal.
Oh.
Right, so I wouldn't say the jackal is a narcissist.
Oh, okay.
Per se.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay.
But possibly a narcissist could talk like a jackal. See, but it's not an equivalent.
The ones that I know do talk like a jackal. That's why I'm like, are you sure it's not a narcissist? Yeah.
Not all jackals are narcissists, put it that way.
Okay.
You know, it's just a metaphor in play, so to speak, you know, in training, you know, just to give a visualization, a little bit of an embodiment, you know, for someone acting and speaking in a way that is offensive, is negative, blaming, very critical, won't take responsibility for anything. So yes, a narcissist would have those qualities, but I'm not saying that every jackal is a narcissist.
Got it. Okay. Well, some people just have life experiences, and that's why they're negative, right? Because of their trauma. Yeah. So that's why they'll act out of that negativity, right?
Right. Again, hurting people hurt other people.
Right.
And you know, a lot of times when we're processing all the hurt and anger from a traumatic event, it perpetuates more negativity. You know, it's almost like, you know, coming home and kicking the dog.
Right.
You don't want to do that, right? So you're taking things out on other innocent people and then perpetuating the negativity when you're traumatized.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can work through that and process it so that we're no longer doing that. But that is one reason why people become very angry, short-tempered. You know, they're already dealing with so much and their fuse is so short.
Especially these days.
If this is threshold, they're hovering right under threshold because of that trauma and they can't handle anything. So you need to build self-care, more coping skills, more communication skills. You need to process through the trauma with various techniques. We can do another talk on trauma.
Well, my other question is, how can I improve my active listening? Is it just me, when you talk, I just speak back what you said, maybe? Or what is it? What is...
Yes, you can acknowledge, I understand what you're saying. You know, that lowers the defensiveness down. That kind of decompresses and takes some of the strain and tension out of the conversation and off each person.
Okay. So is that the best thing to say or not?
Yes, sometimes repeating back exactly what you heard, even using their same words, can be very useful. In neuro-linguistic programming, we do that a lot. It's mirroring. Right? If
I've been
someone's
taught
sitting
to
like
do
this,
that. So,
then you sit like this. If they're sitting like this, you sit like,
Yep,
cross your
exactly.
leg, or, mirror some
Actually,
hand
we're mirroring
motion.
each other right now, which is pretty funny.
Unconsciously. We're in sync,
Unconsciously,
right?
yeah.
So yes, you can say even the same words. I heard you say, and then use their words.
Okay.
Or I understand what you're saying. In some way acknowledge them, and that begins to lower the defensiveness and level of conflict.
Got it.
And then show caring about what they're experiencing. Even if you don't like it, and say the jackal is really attacking you.
You probably want to get away from the jackal.
You don't have to agree with the jackal.
Why do you want to be with one?
Well, if you encountered one.
Oh, okay. All right, no, that's not.
But most of us are kind of that 2-year-old inside, that never fully matured, and we need to learn how to communicate our feelings and needs better. That's
so
kind
true.
of an example of a jackal.
Got it.
That immaturity that can't relate to another person. And so we have to train the jackal.
I wasn't able to train mine.
We have to train our inner jackal and
No, not my inner jackal. I'm talking about the person my ex that I married. Yeah, no.
That's another story for
That's
another
another
day.
story. I was not able to train him. That's why we're no longer together. Yeah.
Train your inner dragon. Or your outer dragon.
Too funny. Is there any other besides I understand what you're saying, or what I hear you saying is there any other?
So you can also say, I think that what you're saying is, or I'm guessing that what you might be feeling is such and such. I'm guessing. I'm not telling you that you're feeling.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I'm guessing. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm guessing that you're feeling frustrated right now. I can see why you would feel frustrated.
Can you say seem? Or is it better to say guessing? Like, it seems like you're frustrated right now. Is that not the right thing to say? Because that's kind of more attacking.
Or how about it seems like you may be feeling frustrated right now. Instead of it seems like you are.
See, I told you.
But see how it just softens it a little bit.
It totally softens it, yeah.
Of the doubt.
Yeah.
And to give them room to make an adjustment, that you are flexible within your perception of what's going on, and in general and for them. You see?
Yes, I think so. Okay.
Then after that, you have the opportunity to express what you're feeling and needing. Okay, now that we acknowledged you, now how about we acknowledge me? And so we have to invite that. We have to open the door for that, because the other person may not A, care, B, know how to do that, or C, think of it. So, that's why it's part of the process. That you get to feel acknowledged too.
Right. So with a narcissist, you're not going to feel it.
Well,
I can tell you that just from...
So even if you have to ask permission, is it okay if I say my perspective now that we acknowledged yours? Would you be open to listening to what's happening for me?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Then you know if they are really interested or not.
Yeah, check in.
Or if it's just about them, yes.
Right. And, if it really is a narcissist, that you may not get that chance. They'll be like, okay, yeah, see you later. But if you're with someone who is caring about you too, especially, in a relationship,
or in a family,
or in
your mother, your dad, your brother,
right. Hopefully
you do have to see them usually.
And if they're not ready to hear your side now, maybe they would in 10 minutes.
Got it.
Or an hour from now.
Yeah.
Or at least by tomorrow, right? Okay, maybe we both need to calm down, take a little break. We've acknowledged you for now.
Yeah.
We can recheck in later. And then, let's kind of plan a time that we can have another conversation and that I can have a chance to speak to.
Okay. So would that be conflict resolution there?
Yeah, that's where you would go into conflict resolution.
Okay. So
Usually, that's why people are going into therapy, because there's some level of conflict. But, some people just, go into therapy for themselves to learn more coping skills, more self-care, process childhood things, traumatic experiences, and things like that. But a lot of times people come into therapy because they're in a relationship that they need help with.
Right.
How to, communicate better and things like that.
Right. So how would you help me if in the past I was married to 2 narcissists and my conflict resolution would be to leave the room because I didn't want to get angry in front of them and start and escalate the conflict. And then instead of me just leaving the room and saying, I will talk to you when we're both calmed down, right? Well, one took it that if you leave this room, I will make more hell for you than if you don't leave this room,
Yikes,
right?
Yeah.
And the other one, I don't know, he just shut down, I don't know. But, right? And so I'm used to doing that, and I'm working on just, because I usually don't get really angry. It takes a lot to get me angry, and when you've done it, when you've put me to my top. My girls will say, you don't want Mama Bear to come out, right? And it's just my tone. It's just more my tone. I don't say anything nasty. It's just my tone, and I'm done, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, you can hear it now. That
Look out.
Right? Mama Bear, not happy, right? So I don't ever want to get to that point, right? So you're not going to push me, and so that's why I walk away. So I'm hoping the whole situation calms down.
Yeah.
How would you say, what's a better conflict resolution for that?
Well, actually, I like that idea.
I didn't know I was
it is
doing it well.
It is one of the strategies. In the elementary schools, we use Kelso's Choices. It's a frog.
Is that the one where
Kelso
time
the
out?
frog.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Lily is
Take a
his
time out.
friend or sister.
Okay.
And so walk away is one of the strategies for conflict resolution.
Okay.
But I think even more powerful is to say, can we take a break?
Oh.
And then we'll talk about it
So
again.
they know I'm not just walking away to
stew or shut down
or to abandon or to ignore. I
Right,
think,
exactly,
yeah,
yes.
I think my first one, he thought I was shoving it under the rug and didn't want to deal with it. And that wasn't, that wasn't the reason. So, but that's right.
But it's okay, then
Yeah.
you had a need for some time to calm down.
Yeah.
Right? So that is
Well, I didn't want to say anything that I'd regret. Right?
And even to say that is a good
And
thing.
for him to say things that he would want to take back, and that, because you can't take your words back. It affects your heart,
It does.
right?
And theirs.
And theirs. And so that's why I did it, right? But I don't think he took it that way. I know he didn't
that
take
old
it that
saying,
way.
sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
That's
Actually,
so
it
wrong.
does. It
So
does
wrong.
hurt. Words hurt. And it can hurt really deep.
Right.
So, saying something like, I'm recognizing that I'm feeling really upset right now. And I think that what I need is to take a moment to go for a walk, to process and calm down. So would it be okay with you if we, check back in an hour?
Table it till later.
Yeah, and then and then the request. How about we both think about what we're each feeling and needing and what each other might be feeling and needing, and if there might be more than one perspective to consider. Open your mind to different possibilities, and then we can have a better conversation. So we're just going to take a break right now. So actually saying, would it be okay with you if we take a break right now, would mitigate some of those other things that you were talking about.
I'm going to say, in the heat of the moment, that takes a lot of
self-awareness and reflection.
Very much so.
And
very
self-control.
much so. Yes, it does. A lot of self-control because, usually, some people it's a tit for a tat, and that's completely wrong way of communicating, I think. So
being able to stop yourself before exploding.
Yeah.
To say, okay, I'm going to do that count to 5 or count to 10 or count to from
that
10
takes
backwards.
self-control too.
I'm going to, take my deep breaths. I'm going to stop and pause and recognize, oh, I'm realizing I'm getting really upset right now. I'm going to stop.
That's great. Yeah.
And breathe. And then ask for what you need. Whether it's a break, whether it's for patience, whether it's for, a moment of kindness toward each other. Or even acknowledging, I know that we both love each other deeply, and we want to be able to get along, and both of us, I'm sure, want to get through this and resolve this conflict. So how about we approach it from a different strategy and a different energy?
Right. Well, energy has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and after we each calm down. So it can be very valuable in that way.
Yeah.
So when you model that, you teach the other person too.
Oh, so they may get it.
Yeah,
in
that's
time.
how you train the dragon or train the jackal, by modeling it.
Huh?
By recognizing these feelings in ourselves, being able to identify our own feelings and needs, then you can help the other person by just guessing and then asking them if that is their experience. They may say yes, they may say no. Then you could even explore it with them. Maybe it is something deeper, but beneath the level of this current awareness, that's really going on. Wow. Maybe it's that I feel invalidated in some way, or I don't feel important in some way. Or maybe we're hitting on a self-limiting belief that I'm not good enough. See, I can never say it good enough. I can,
I heard that a lot.
Right?
I can never please you. I right? You hear it a lot.
And then
it's like,
that's
that's
really
not
triggering.
true. It's not true.
And how triggering is that for people, right?
Right.
And so it may not even be what is apparent right on the surface. It may be something a lot deeper.
I think it has to do with their self-worth.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of it does. And but there's so many people that don't work on themselves. So that's why I'm like, how do you train them? How do you train them if they're not into working on themselves and wanting to be better and wanting to be who God made them to be, right? How is, because I do try and be an example. So I'm not saying, how long does that take? Because it could take long. It may never happen. You may never see it, right? But
we can only focus on ourselves. We can't do the work for both
so
people.
True. So true.
I can only control what I do.
True.
And say. And sometimes that's even hard.
We want to control others because we want them to be ours,
Yes.
but I've always been taught, put your hand in front of your face. This is what you can control. You can only control you.
Right.
And how you handle the situation and how you respond to a situation.
Yes, exactly.
So.
We can't control the situation usually,
No.
but we can control our response to the situation.
Right.
That's a big distinction.
So you can be a hothead or you can just be loving and just kind of diffuse it.
Right. Well, this technique, using nonviolent communication, NVC,
Diffuses
is
it.
diffusing
Yeah.
and thought distancing from those negative thoughts and beliefs and perspectives and perceptions to allow for other possibilities of interpretations that may be more uplifting and even more true.
Wow.
That then is relationship building
Okay.
and connecting.
So if I wanted to start this process, how would I start it? I know being aware, and that's with everything, is stopping and being aware. It is probably the first thing, because if you're not stopping and being aware of anything, you're just going to continue acting the way you've been acting. Correct? So what would be my first steps in compassionate communication?
I think that self-care and self-awareness is first.
Okay. So you have to work on yourself first.
right?
Ha.
Because if I'm calm and I'm self-regulated, then even if someone else gets upset, I will respond differently. So I notice this in the car. If someone cuts me off and I'm in a good place, I'm like, oh, be more careful. Have a great day. you know?
Right. It's so
But
true.
if I'm like already upset with something, I'm like,
You're going to flip them off. You're going to do whatever, right? Right?
yeah. So then
true.
I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not in a very good space right now. I need to really look at that.
Well, I choose.
Right?
I choose to be loving and kind.
Yes.
That's my choice. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's how I react. So if someone cuts me off, I'm just like, well, they must be need to get somewhere quick.
Exactly.
Or whatever. It's
That's a
it is-
positive interpretation. That is a giraffe speaking instead of that jerk or something, right?
calling him or her names, right?
Right, exactly.
And
We
then
don't
getting
wanna
in
do
a
that.
road rage.
And then I tell myself, that's not the person I want to be, or,
Okay.
So I self-check, so sometimes we make mistakes and we lose it. That happens.
So true.
But we can at least work on it.
Right.
Also, a practice. Someone says something mean to us, we say something kind back.
Okay.
You
That's
know how
easier for me.
Michelle Obama said,
but
they
none
go
of
low,
the-
we go high. I like that. I love
Always
that.
take the high road. Always take the high road, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And do your best to model that for people.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that kindness perpetuates and begins to make changes in our world.
If we could all be kind, that would be
Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful. So thank you so much for being on. And how can everyone get a hold of you if they have any other questions or comments or anything?
Well, thank you for having me.
You
It's
didn't
been very
answer my
enjoyable.
question.
I'm going to answer.
Okay.
So I work at Clinic AD with Dr. Stephen Mayville and Dr. Ruth Gentry in Damani Ranch. And also my email is barbaracarin17@outlook.com. And I'll spell it out, BARBARAKARIN17@outlook.com.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you all, and stay tuned for Adventures of Zebby and Theo, and I'll see you next week.
Coming up next, Adventures with Theo and Zebby, right here on Embracing Life Again with Catherine Koffer.
Are you ready to go, buddy? Huh? You ready? Okay, sounds good. You're missing this one.
Oh no, I'm getting it.
Little bunch for the road? Debbie in his limo. You've taken the first step to embracing life again. Let's continue to break barriers, find joy, and dream without limits. Join us next time and let's discover inspiration through every transition together.